Let's start with the Green Bay Packers. Again, Ryan Horvat. What a guy. Hey, Horvy.
Hey, what's up? Long time no talk, actually. I haven't been on the podcast. I've watched a couple of the episodes, though. I was on vacation.
Oh, great.
Yeah, caught a couple of them.
Hey, so you're the one.
How about those Brewers, though?
It doesn't matter when I run this. They suck.
Yeah. No. Like, I haven't watched a baseball game in like 3 weeks. I don't even watch my own team. They stink, too. The entire division stinks. I don't care.
Man.
We could air this in a month. I'm kind of rooting for the Reds or the Pirates. Like, not even my own team, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, I got Pittsburgh fever. Why not?
As long as the Cardinals continue to be a disaster and Contreras continues to suck, win-win.
Well, around here, everyone thinks that the Brewers are like going to do exactly what Freems is always talking about, a reverse boycott to save the Brewers. It's like they're not going anywhere.
Well, you never know. I never thought that the A's would go to Las Vegas, you know? That kind of hey, I like you defending the A's though, because growing up, man, I kind of like those A's teams. Like, I love Barry Zito. I love that whole rotation. I
feel bad for Oakland. They lost the Raiders. The Warriors left. Like that counts.
Yeah.
They went across the bay.
Right, exactly.
Oakland's not, no matter what some people think, Oakland is not San Francisco.
No.
It's not like people think it's like St. Paul in Minneapolis. It's not.
No, not at all. Like,
it's a completely different ecosystem.
Yeah, it's sad to see, man. It's sad to see. But I'll say this, though. I mean, I am excited for another excuse to go to Las Vegas. I mean, I'm going to have to go to a couple of those games, obviously.
Oh, yeah. They need, like, slot machines in the chair seats. Is what they need. Or, like, betting. All right, so I want to look at over-unders win totals. And we can start with the Packers because we did win-lost them. Actually, I believe that was my most listened to podcast in all of May, doing win-lossing the Packers with you. So, thank you. Oh yeah, Packer content's king. I can talk to whoever. I can talk to, I can like work hard. All I got to do is be like, hey Nagler, what's your Mount Rushmore? Fucking.
That was the one I watched. I thought that was really good. I like you guys. I like when you guys are together. I do.
Oh, I like Nags too. We had a falling out because our station was cheap and we didn't even. Okay. But I blamed him and that was wrong.
That kind of was wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah.
All right. So,
win total for the Packers. Vegas has them. I think it's been pretty steady at 7.5. I think I think Jordan Love's going to be okay. I don't like when but you don't know. There's all these quarterback tiers with their little heads, and Love's always in the last one, but nobody knows. So I would think that, and what I said on the score the last time that I was on that wonderful station.
Yeah.
And I came up with this on the spot, and I'm sure it's been said, but all these other franchises try to microwave their quarterbacks. Like, you be good, go. The Packers put it in the oven, let it cook, get the insides, check the temperature. And then when it's ready, it comes out. I just can't think that the Packers are going to go into 2024. Well, I guess that's next year. 2023, like, knowing that Love, like if the Packers knew Love sucked, they wouldn't do this. That's what I think. So I'm going to say over 7.5. Now, will it maybe just be 8? That's part of the game. But I will take over for the Packers.
Yeah, like, I look at the schedule and it doesn't even really have anything to do with Jordan Love. I wouldn't actually bet the Packers over 7.5 wins just because the defense really let us down last year. But I do think still there's way too much. There's way too much talent. If they're able to stay healthy, man, like, if they get Rashawn Gary back, for example, you still have Aaron Jones, you still have A.J. Dillon. I do like the wide receiver room a lot. I like the wide receiver room a lot more this year with Reed than the corpse of Sammy Watkins. But what's interesting is, like, if you look at the different markets, because I have everything up right now, the Packers over 7.5 wins, they're actually taking some money to go over the win total a lot of them slightly juiced -115. There is a book out there right now that has it +100. So I would shop around if you do want to bet them because you're getting a better price. You're not laying, $1.15. I would rather get some plus money there. But I'm with you. I would lean 8-9 wins because the NFC North dumpster fire. The reports out of Chicago, Justin Fields doesn't look good. Chase Claypool, they're disappointed with on and off the field. And they gave up way too much for Chase Claypool. So glad that Green Bay didn't, to be honest with you. I would lean over, but I wouldn't bet over. So I'm with you. I'd go over. I think Jordan Love will be all right as well. I don't think he'll be Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, unfortunately. But I think he'll be a good NFL quarterback. I think it'll take some time. I think there'll be some growing pains, just like there were for Rodgers. Not as many, hopefully, as Favre had. But I worry still about the defense, man. Let's see what the defense looks like. But yeah, I would lean over on Green Bay as well.
On the YouTube stream, look at when we're going to talk about a team, I'm going to put what it is.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
On the Dan Schani YouTube stream. So on YouTube, it says Packers over under 7.5. So that if people are scrolling through, they can see when we're talking about their team.
Here's the thing, man. I want to believe. Everybody thinks I'm just this big Jordan Love hater. I'm not. I could love Aaron Rodgers and still like Jordan Love and root for Jordan Love. Again, I hate that I have to even defend this. I didn't like the Jordan Love pick just because, let's say even I hated Rodgers, man. They weren't getting away from him because he still had, 3 years left on that deal. They had just extended him, and I didn't think he was washed. I thought it was year one.
Well, that was the problem. Extending him was the problem.
Right. Well, year one under LaFleur, I think that was the most we've seen from the LaFleur offense, where Rodgers wore the wristbands. And then I think that summer, that offseason, there was a meeting of the minds, and it was half Rodgers offense, half LaFleur offense with the pre-snap motion. Then last year, that was the Rodgers offense. That's what scares me a little bit about the Jets, man, is Rodgers has full control there. There's a reason why Hackett continues to find work because he's Aaron Rodgers' gopher. He's the Jack Haley to Aaron Rodgers, Dennis Rodman. But way too much time spent on the Packers. But I want to believe. So, I mean, we don't know what any of these teams in the division are, and the Lions are getting way too much hype. So go.
Well, just to finish on the Packers, the exact win totals, I got this from our guy Jimmy Shapiro. The exact win totals for I don't know. I just always get emails.
Yeah.
The exact win totals. It's plus 550 that the Packers win 7 games. It is plus 600 that they win 6 games or 8 games. It is plus 650 that they win 9 games, plus 700 that they win 5 games, and plus 800 that they win 10 games. If you think the Packers are going to not win a game, you can get 70-1 odds on that. If you think they will go undefeated, you can get 300-1 odds on that. So,
I would actually take exactly 7 wins. I think 7 wins sounds about right, man.
It's 5 times the value. So bet 100, win 550.
I could see them losing some games where Jordan Love throws a bad interception. I could see them losing some games where Jordan Love just lights it up, but the defense does what they've that's the other thing, man. You know what I mean? Rodgers had some years where, they had to win to get in and barely even won the NFC North with 10, 11 wins because the defense always stinks. That's why I always have to defend Aaron Rodgers. I think the most overrated thing, really, I hate that I have to do this, but really quick, I never complain or bitch about the wide receivers or the offensive talent that Rodgers played with. All those guys were great, from Greg Jennings and Donald Driver all the way down to Jordy, Devontae. Christian Watson was really good the last 8 weeks of the season. My problem was always the defensive side of the ball. You can't, Brady's better than Rodgers, historically with the rings, but Brady also always had a top 10 scoring defense every Super Bowl year. Rodgers had that once he won a ring. It's so hard for quarterbacks. Peyton Manning in Indianapolis would always lose to Brady.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning was a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Yes or no? What do you think on that?
Tom Brady never did anything that I never saw before, except win out of his ass.
I mean, the year he had Moss,
he knows how to win. He knows. Right. I mean, with Peyton Manning, the thing with Tom Brady, he dinked and dunked his way to an NFL 17. We always say he dinked and dunked, but he did.
Here's the thing, right?
Tom Brady had one year where he threw to Randy Moss a shitload. He's just like, chuck it. But other than that, what do you think of with Tom Brady? I think of 11 yards to Edelman and 8 yards to Deion Branch and James White for 15 on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's Tom Brady. But he was the best at it.
Right. And the great thing about him was he took what's given to him. He's not Rodgers, like, hey, here's a guy right across the middle, but he's got to find his, he's chucking balls to Devontae. So he took what was given to him. And I feel like the difference between Brady and Peyton Manning was like Peyton Manning lived for football. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't beat Florida. Like, remember the Tennessee fans hated him for a while. Didn't hate him, but like they thought he was a choke artist because he could never beat Florida when he was there. And then in the NFL, like Sparky, like when we do the podcast, always calls him a choke artist. And I'm like, okay, like he's one of 11. Yeah, Peyton Manning. But like, I think the thing was, man, he would overstudy. I mean, he was a genius, at calling his own plays and, audibles and changing things at the line of scrimmage, reading a defense. I don't think there's anybody better than Peyton. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. But I think the difference is Brady's always been playing with house money. Like we thought maybe he was going to be a minor league catcher. He was splitting time with Drew Henson, we have to remember, at Michigan, goes in, the 7th round or wherever the fuck. We've all seen the combine videos. He's just been playing with house money his entire career. And he's just a cool ass dude where he's at the end of these games, like early on in his career, whatever. And he got those rings because they kicked field goals and they had good defenses. And then, he just had this crazy confidence. Whereas like Peyton, like one thing goes wrong and he would fall apart. Rodgers, like the same thing. I think that's always been the difference. Like that's what Joe Burrow reminds me of right now, and that's why he always wins. He's just like cool, calm, collect. Where like some of these guys, like you watch Dak.
Like Carr would throw a pick and he'd forget about it by the time he was off the field.
Well, the problem was, though, then he'd go out and throw another one and another one because he'd be like, oh, I'll get him the next time. But yeah, I thought that was always the difference. Like Brady, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, they were just like cool ass dudes, calm under pressure. Some guys, they can't handle the pressure. I don't know that that's Rodgers, though. I mean, yeah, the last couple of years it was.
So I'm going to go over on the Packers.
Yeah, over on the Packers, yeah.
You like them at 7 wins?
I kind of like that price. I think that's a good bet. I mean, I wouldn't bet that, though. See, I'm not – every year I bet the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to do that this year for the first time ever in my life, but I'm not going to be rooting against them. I'm rooting for my Packers-Jets Super Bowl, and then it ends in a tie because aliens blow up the world.
That'd be good. The Chicago Bears come in also at 7.5. And I mean, if you just look at the schedule now, a lot of this is going to depend on Justin Fields too. I lost their schedule with a guy, and all of a sudden I was at 10 wins for the Bears. I think Bears over under 7.5. I think the over is the lock of the year.
On the Bears?
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, man. I bet
their schedule is dog shit. The rest of this division is bad.
Yeah.
I like the Bears over 7.5. I'm going to play that today.
Yeah, I played them to win the NFC North. Just the price was ridiculous.
Some cheese.
Yeah. I mean, okay, when I did that though, I was higher on Justin Fields than a lot of people, like a lot of Packers fans. The Bears fans think he's some of them think he's like the next coming of Christ, but like, the reports are bad.
Which, to be fair, he could be. I mean, the next coming of, we don't know.
The reports are bad, but also I don't really care. Like when guys are in shorts and half pads, because like we overreact to crap every single season, and I'm not there, So I'm sure like Adam Hogan, those guys. I mean, they're there every day. I respect what they're seeing, but I mean, I remember hearing that Jamar Chase couldn't catch an NFL football. You know what I mean? Like we always do this crap. When they put on the pads, I know Justin Fields is a good football player. I just don't know that he's a good quarterback, but I'm with you, man. I think the defense will be better. I really like the pickups that they made in the offseason. I don't like Chase Claypool. Maybe they end up moving him, but I like Mooney enough if he doesn't have to be your number one, right? So yeah, I'm with you. I'd go over on the Bears. Hate to say it. Feel like a traitor, but yeah.
I feel like with everything that's coming out and all the moves that they're doing, Vikings over under 8.5. That's got to. How's that not dropped yet?
I bet under.
They are rebuilding. They are rebuilding
Yeah, dude.
Whatever, nobody likes to say that word anymore, but they are rebuilding, although they have Kirk Cousins. So they're doing what if the Packers were like the team they have now and Aaron Rodgers. Like everybody's super young, but then you still have the quarterback. The problem is the Vikings are going to rebuild all around Kirk, and then Kirk's not going to be there. And then they're going to have to decide, well, do we bring in a quarterback like Rodgers? Or do we draft a guy? I mean, what do you do? It's just it's just weird. It's weird that the Vikings, this division should be theirs.
Yeah.
But now they're cutting and trading guys. And I think what they're looking at is, okay, we might win the division. We're not going to the Super Bowl. So if all you other teams, the problem is this division in a couple of years, like it stinks, it could be really good. If the Vikings figure it out and find a guy, if Justin Fields is the guy, if Jordan Love's the guy, well, it could be the best this division's been since we gone down to the north, since we were no longer the Central.
Yeah,
so
dude.
It could be, but for this year, I mean, the Vikings, they're not 8.5 seems like that's high with everything that's happened.
Dude, they have Dean Lowry starting for them.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like, I look at the defensive side of the ball. They're starting Andrew Booth this year. Harrison Smith's still there. Evans is their other corner. Byron Murphy. Yeah, I mean, if I'm a Vikings fan, I kind of just want to rip the Band-Aid off. I don't know that you could get anything for Kirk Cousins. This is Kirk's last year in Minnesota.
Well, I still think Kirk for Trey Lance is a trade that benefits both sides.
They do have Jordan Addison. No, I think what you do, man, if I'm a Vikings fan,
Purdy's going to suck, okay?
Yeah, I'm with you. I want Sam Darnold to win that job more than I want error. Like I need Sam Darnold to win that job and win like 14 games, man, and just prove how like terrible Adam Gase and all those douchebags that they can. I like Sam Darnold. He's went through so much shit.
Wow.
I mean,
who knew?
I like him. I think I like him more than Brock Purdy, and I know that I like him more than Trey Lance. I don't think Trey Lance is any good. But if I'm Minnesota, I just want to blow. Like if I'm any of these teams, I just want to blow because next year, if you need a quarterback, is the year to get a quarterback.
I just want to blow.
Caleb Williams is going to be awesome, and Drake May is going to be awesome. And then there's a couple other guys. I don't know like what Pratt is, and but somebody else will emerge. Maybe Tyler Van Dyke bounces back from Miami.
TVD.
But I want, TVD. I'd want to blow this year. I'd want to suck really bad. I'm going under on the Vikings. The defense sucks. They got worse. I do like Jordan Addison. I love, Jefferson, but I don't think that's enough. So under on the Vikings.
You want to blow this year. You want to suck really bad.
Yep.
Your words.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah.
Lions are over under 9.5.
Yeah, that's too many wins.
The problem is, it's my favorite stat. The Buccaneers have won this division more recently than the Lions.
Yeah.
Like this could not be presented better for Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody was going to give them a benefit. Like Detroit, all they need to do for the league is just be good on Thanksgiving so we don't have to like kick them off of Thanksgiving. That's all they need to do. Can they take on the pressure? Because now there's going to be a little pressure. There's going to be expectations.
Yeah.
So they ain't winning 9.5 games.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't.
Who's winning this division?
The Bears. The Packers.
With what, 7 wins?
I mean, the Lions may win this division with 9 wins. I couldn't go over 9.5. They should win 10, 11 games. I mean, you look at the final 8 weeks of the season, the DVOA numbers, all the nerd stats. They were one of the best, if not the second or third best team in the NFC. I can't put my money in Jared Goff, Dan Campbell.
Jared Goff been to a Super Bowl, scored 3 points.
Really, anybody on that defense other than Hutchinson. I couldn't do it, man. I'm going to go under on the Lions. I think they're going to let everybody down. I did bet them. I bet the shit out of them week 1 against the Chiefs, though, when it was at 7. It's at 6.5 right now. I'd want the full touchdown, but, I think they'll be all right. But They should win 10 games. I couldn't bet that, though. I'm going to go under.
I'm taking the over-under graphic off of the YouTube. I did it for the North. I don't want to do it for any other division. It's actually kind of a lot of tedious work.
Yeah.
So,
plus there's like a lot of people, that probably just listen to the podcast. So it seems like,
Well, I mean, my hope is that like some random Titans fan is like, AMC sells over-unders? They'll talk, listen, but not that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all about the SEO. Right?
I'm really trying to jack up those YouTube numbers.
Yeah.
So I found like old videos of me and Frames that I'm posting every week.
You should start showing a little bit more skin, maybe.
Should I?
For the lady audience, yeah.
I can do should I do the NFC East shirtless?
There you go. Yeah. Now we're talking. There's the ratings. Yeah. Show a little skin. Looking good. You look like you've been hitting the gym a little bit.
I look like I stopped shaving halfway through my chest.
Dude, is there anything worse than emails?
Yeah. Trying to lose weight at age 39.
You should just do what I told you to do. Just do the fasting. You have one meal a day.
I tried too fucking hard. I hated it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
All right, NFC East. Cowboys, 9.5 wins.
Yeah, over, dude. Actually, I bet the Cowboys to actually represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Yeah. A lot of faith in the big guy this year, taking over play calling. You know why? I'm really excited for Kellen Moore with the Chargers, even though I think he might be shit, just because he's going to allow Justin Herbert to actually push the ball down the field, whereas Joe Lombardi treated Justin Herbert like fucking Drew Brees when his arm was falling off. I'm really excited, though, for the big guy to take over play calling because I love Tony Pollard and as a fantasy owner in a dynasty league and just as a guy that is going to bet the Cowboys win total over and them to win that division as well. I want to run the ball with Tony Pollard, and there's no more Zeke. So you got Tony Pollard at the wide receiver position. I like CeeDee Lamb. I didn't think he was a number one wide receiver. He proved last year he could be. And then they bring in Brandon Cooks. So I know he had kind of a down year for Brandon Cooks last year, but he was playing for the Texans. Imagine trying to be motivated to go to work every day with that dumpster fire of a situation. And Lovie Smith is your head coach in the year 2022-23. And then they have, Michael Gallup, who really hasn't been very good since 2019, since he tore his ACL. But who knows? Now he's another year healthier, and now he's just wide receiver number 3. On the defensive side of the ball, love Micah Parsons, and he's playing for a contract. He wants to be on the field every down. They're going to play him as a traditional – well, actually, they're going to play him as an outside linebacker. I like him more as just a defensive end rushing the quarterback. But I like Dan Quinn. He's trying to get a head coaching gig. And then I thought the Stephon Gilmore pickup was really nice. He had a pretty solid year. I don't think he's washed yet. I like Diggs. Last year he wasn't gambling as much. I think the Cowboys win at least 10 games. Also, Dak's going to be
tough, though, Horvat. Schedule's tough.
No, the schedule's real tough, but I think Dak's going to be pissed off and motivated, especially after his season ended like in an embarrassing fashion once again for the third.
How about McCarthy Rodgers Part 2, Week 2 of the season?
McCarthy's going to get him this time.
Oh, God. What a game that's going to be.
All these games. I want to, all over the place, dude. Like Week 1, Bills, Jets. Week 1, Dolphins, Chargers. Herbert versus Tua. Like, let's fucking go. Let's fast forward. I hate baseball so much. Golf.
I cannot do a Packers post-game show Week 2. They play the Atlanta Falcons at noon. I got to watch Jets Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Who's going to want to watch this beautiful face when it's Rodgers McCarthy reunited?
You should just do a full NFL recap show, with highlights, like the George Michael Sports Machine.
Should I from my basement?
That'd be fucking dope, wouldn't it? It'd be like, Wayne's World did it from his basement. Wayne did. Wayne Campbell.
True. George Michael, R.I.P.
Ended up pulling Cassandra, too. Oh, dream weaver, I believe you could get me through the night. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah. Cowboys, though. You're not with me on the Cowboys?
I think the schedule's hard, but I could do 9.5, but it'd be like 10. Somebody in this NFC's got to win some games. Eagles are over under 10.5. Anytime
That's
it gets to the double digits, it gets tricky because like these teams either win 10 or they're going to win 13. Like that's what happens when a team is 10.5 over under.
What's weird about that too is they have the easiest schedule. They're only dogs a couple times. The Chiefs are favored in every single game. Man, I mean, I'm going to say over on the Eagles, but I think the Cowboys win the division.
I think you have to.
I feel like there might be a little like Super Bowl hangover. Also, I see like everybody has Jalen Hurts rated as their number 2 quarterback in the league. I'm just not ready to go there right now because his rookie year, you know, there was a whole side of the field.
I put him above Dak.
Me too. He was awesome last year, but I'm just saying, you know, like it's another, like we've seen, I'm not comparing him to Colin Kaepernick, but you know, like Kaepernick looked like he was going to own the league and then they figured him out. You know, but Jalen's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I can't go number 2 in the league. I'd probably take Herbert. I know I would take Burrow and Herbert over him. And I'd probably I'd still take Lamar over him. Like, I know Lamar has been hurt the last 2 years, but fucking people forget Lamar won an MVP with like you and me at wide receiver. And now this year he's got OBJ, who, you know, will probably be healthy for 3 weeks, but whatever. I'm going to go over on the Eagles too. I think both the Cowboys and the Eagles, you know, probably win like 11, 12 games.
I'm in Wayne's World now.
Woo.
I put my franchise quarterbacks. Mahomes is one because every team would trade their quarterback for Mahomes. And then what I look at for the next, like who the franchise quarterbacks are, I decide, will that team trade for somebody else? Burrow, Herbert, Jackson, Hurts, Josh Allen, and I put Trevor Lawrence in there. I don't think the Jaguars trade Trevor Lawrence for any of those guys. But the Cowboys, would they trade Dak for Trevor Lawrence?
Yes.
Would they trade Dak for Jalen Hurts?
No, I'd probably not.
I think they might.
I did my quarterback list the other day. I go Mahomes number 1, Burrow number 2, Herbert number 3, Hurts number 4, Josh Allen number 5, Aaron Rodgers number 6, Trevor Lawrence number 7, Lamar number 8, Deshaun number 9, Dak number 10, Kyler number 11, Tua number 12, Geno Smith 13, Russell Wilson 14, Matthew Stafford 15, Kirk Cousins 16, Derek Carr 17, Jared Goff 18, Justin Fields 19, Daniel Jones 20, Kenny Pickett 21, Bryce Young 22, Brock Purdy 23, CJ Stroud 24, Jordan Love 25, Jimmy G 26, Mac Jones 27, Anthony Richardson 28, Ryan Tannehill 29, Sam Howell 30, Baker Mayfield 31, Desmond Ridder 32. What did you have an issue with? Do you think that's too low for Jordan Love 25? I got him over Jimmy G and Mac Jones.
I think Kyler is not a top. He's not top 11.
See, here's my hot take. Kyler played for that douchebag Cliff Kingsbury the last couple of years. And 2 years ago, first 8 weeks of the season, he was going to be the MVP of the league till he ran into the buzzsaw that was the Green Bay Packers. And he got hurt. Like when he's not hurt, though, dude, Kyler does things every week that you've like never seen ever. I think
in
the right
he runs 87 yards for a 2-yard sack. I've never seen that before.
I mean, I'm probably too high on I mean, Deshaun Watson could be the 9th best quarterback in the league, or he could be number 2.
Well, last year he didn't look anything like what he used to. He was awful.
But he didn't play football for a couple of years, man. His mechanics were shit. I think he's going to have a monster year, though. I hate to say it.
Giants are 8.5.
Under. I'm going under. And I love them. That was my best bet. Everybody gave me shit last year because I went over. I love Brian Daboll. But, dude, like Saquon doesn't want to be there. I still don't really love the wide receiver room, to be honest with you. They got better, but in that division, I think the Cowboys are going to be really good. I think the Eagles are going to be really good. And I think the Commanders might be sneaky good. But I just think, like, now that Daniel Jones got paid, he might blow. And I hear guys like Tiki Barber like say that he's going to have a better year than Aaron Rodgers. Anybody that wants to bet that.
Tiki Barber is getting a new job.
I saw that. What if they called you? Would you take that job?
I don't know. Did I have to move to New York?
What's with like all these networks like wanting these like old dudes? Like, no offense to Carton, he's a legend in the game, but like, are you gonna be watching the what What is he going to be even doing? Doesn't he already have his own show?
Who, Carton?
Yeah.
He does. He's been double duty. He's got a show on FS1 first thing in the morning.
I watched that because my guy Cody Decker's on it, of course.
Yeah, the show is fine, entertaining, but it's not like I have to watch Carton. If somehow it's on, like if I'm watching congressional baseball the night before and then FS1's still on, I'll watch Carton, but I'm not waking up to watch it like I do. I set my alarm to my guy Skip. What's he gonna do? Would you take that job, Skip's partner?
Would I? Yeah. Because I live for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to debate with his bitch ass every single day. Because I would love that because like I've never worked with anybody that has to be the ridiculous take guy. You know, like every once in a while, like we'll have a take where we disagree, but you're not like coming on here like LeBron James sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like JJ Redick, everybody blows JJ Redick. And all he does is like just go on there and be like, "No, you guys are crazy. Like Kevin Durant isn't washed up."
The JJ that shtick works once. You can't do that. You can't have Russo and Stephen A. You know what you're getting, and then you can't have JJ just to be there and be like, "Worst episode ever."
Right.
Like
exactly.
let the guys let them. This is what sometimes. And then Jay Williams, whenever he's on, I watch some of this shit now that I don't know if I'm working or not. I don't know what my life is. But he's always like, it always looks like every time Stephen A. Smith disagrees with Jay Williams wants to cry.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you?
First take breakdown here on the Fan.
Yeah. Great show, though.
Yeah, I got to take the Giants under. Because if I'm going to, the Cowboys, that's the thing with the division. The Giants, I think we had our little Daniel Jones fun time.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're the biggest Daniel Jones fans out there.
We are, and you ranked him 20th.
No, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, I was waiting to hear DJ's name.
Yeah, 20th.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you think about it, dude, like, because I'm not putting Desmond Ridder or Baker Mayfield or Sam Howell, and Tannehill's old. And Anthony, yeah, I mean, I don't, I don't. Justin Fields is probably too high on this list.
Where'd you put him?
19.
Yeah, but he could be. Like, I thought Pickett was a little low. I think he's good.
See, like, the way that I'm rating this, though, is like, if you told me if I'm the GM or if I'm a fan of a team, who I would want from like 1 to.
Would you take Karl Anthony Towns or Eric Spoelstra?
I would take Karl Anthony Towns.
All Imig does every week that he's on is, and we like back him into a corner, but he just like talks about how much he loves Eric Spoelstra. He would take him over there's like 6 players he'd take before Spoelstra.
Hey, people forget that Eric Spoelstra has lost 3 straight final series.
People forget that Eric Spoelstra finished the season with a 2-7 record.
Wait, what players would he take over Spoelstra, though?
Like the MVPs.
Like
he would
Giannis?
take if he was in a draft and it got to pick number 10.
Yeah,
he'd probably take Spoelstra. Yeah, the guy loves Spoelstra. What can I say? Good looking man. Got that nice smile. Got that nice. Spoelstra's got one of the best. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me smiles in the game.
Like, he's great, but I would rather have a superstar player. Like, I would rather have, Giannis.
I'd rather have Myers Leonard. I'd rather have a player.
Yeah. Do you think if Spoelstra coached the Bucks this year, they would have won the finals?
Yeah.
Me too. No, I don't actually. I mean, well, does it go down the same way? So Giannis is hurt?
If Bud was the coach of the Heat, then
well, they're not going to the finals.
He'd be like, Tyler Hero's hurt. I'm just gonna give Duncan Robinson 45 minutes.
Poor Bud.
Kyle Lowry'd be like, I can contribute. Kevin Love, I can play.
Yeah. Spo probably would have took the Bud.
Bud probably would have played Udonis Haslem 20 minutes against us if he was the coach of the Heat. Commanders 7.5 over under.
Over. I'm going over on the Commanders. I like
now,
Sam.
Is that because you're in the DMV?
No, I hate the DMV. I do like Sam Howell, though. I liked him in North Carolina. Dude, 4 years ago, he was like, people thought he was going to be a first-round pick. I thought that was a steal. I know he's small, but he looked pretty good. He's going to be the best quarterback that Terry McLaurin's played with. Terry McLaurin's really good. I like their skill position players. Dotson. I like their running backs, Brian Robinson, Gibson. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Chase Young hasn't been healthy since his rookie year, but he was really good as a rookie. And now it's a prove-it-year deal where he wants to get paid, so he'll probably blow up, sweat. I like what they did in the draft. Yeah, I think the Commanders go over. I think they'll have a really good defense again, and I think the offense will be better with Sam Howell. And if he's not the answer, they have Jacoby Brissett, who I don't like, but he's serviceable enough to win you a couple games. So I'm going to go over on the Commanders. I'm actually kind of excited for them this year.
Let's look at I guess I'm going over too.
You have a night in your home?
My new background for this division is happyplacehemp.com, but it's their location. It's their physical location. I took this picture there.
Yeah, like
the night. They got all the gummies behind me. Happyplacehemp.com is gummies and tinctures and the THC 8s, the Delta 8s, Delta 9s. I think they might have a case or two of the THCOs left. Scoop them up while you can. The CBD, CBN nighttime gummies. Happy Place Hemp. The promo code is BART. 25% off every order that you get. Happyplacehemp.com. The NFC West we can look at. I guess we'll start with the Niners. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Is this real, the line that I have in front of me right now?
What is it?
11.5.
Yeah, 11.5 for the Niners.
What? As Chuck would say, what?
Yeah. I mean, that defense, that offense, I'm going over on the Niners.
He's the quarterback.
Does it matter, dude? I mean, they just need somebody that could complete a forward pass. That's
why I think they should trade for Kirk.
The defense kept them in that game against the Eagles, and they didn't even have a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So now they have Sam Darnold, they have Trey Lance, they have your guy Brock Purdy, and they can make a decision. So over on the Niners. I also feel like this is like they're kind of like their last year, their window's closing. I know that they paid Debo last year. I love Brandon Ayuk too. He's awesome. But they might not be able to keep Kittle and, on the defensive side of the ball, all those dudes. Nick Bosa is going to have to get paid here again soon. So I don't know.
Well, I'm going to take under. That's too high for me. 11.5. That's the highest in the league outside of the Bengals and the Chiefs. That's too high. I like in that division, I like Seattle at 8.5. I will take that over. Seattle's going to be my I'm going to put NFC champions on Seattle. That's what I'm going to do.
I did it really small, and then I went over on their win total. I like what they're doing, man. And I like Pete Carroll looks like he's rejuvenated now that he got rid of that nutbag, Russell Wilson. And I like Geno. I believe in Geno. The run game's going to be even better. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I like their secondary a lot better now. Like they're trying to rebuild the Legion of Boom with the big, tall corners. I'm with you on Seattle. The only thing that scares me is I feel like a lot of people are hyping them up. I could definitely see Geno coming back down to earth because he kind of did after that ridiculous start to the season.
Yeah, I was kind of out on that. I don't know. Them drafting JSN in the first round, and I know he's their third receiver, but that just told me they're ready. They're playing. They're gonna come. They're not taking a quarterback of the future. They want to score. Pete Carroll's old and he's got a lot of toys.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He wants to win. He's not trying to do a rebuild. You know what I mean? He's gonna be dead soon. Guy's fucking old.
Well, I didn't want to say that. I mean,
I didn't either. But I'm still not completely over the whole NFC Championship game, even though everybody else is, because Brandon Bostic's just in town slapping high fives every other
Brandon
week.
Bostic gets to do Lambeau Leaps whenever he wants, I guess. Part of the deal.
Yeah, just fucked up my whole year, but it's all good. I'm kidding, though. Let's go on. Move on.
The Seattle Seahawks, I'm going to take the over 8.5.
That's one of my favorite bets. We might both be wrong, but it's something I'm going to be rooting for. Kenneth Walker season, baby.
Rams over under 7.5.
Under. I don't even want to spend time on this team. You bring back Aaron Donald and Sean McVay's back.
I'll tell you what, the over under 7.5 you got Vegas doubting us, and that's the thing about Vegas is they don't know what's going on inside these walls. They don't know every piece of sweat, hard work that you guys have put into this team. They don't know that. It's just a bunch of nerds with poker visors doing numbers. Over under 7.5, I'd set the line at 16.5 because this team, I do think when I look around, we can go undefeated.
Yeah, that's the best McVay I've ever heard from you. But like, is Matthew Stafford going to be alive by week 3? Is Cooper Kupp going to be healthy? Like, does Aaron Donald?
Yeah, cost me a fantasy title last year. He was rolling.
I mean, Ramsey sucked last year. They traded him. I just, I can't do it with the Rams. I'm not running to bet them under though, because McVay's still a good coach, and if Stafford,
I don't know. I think they could win 8.
Yeah, I think they could, but I also could see them winning 4, right? Like, what if John Wolford is their quarterback again in week 3? So
I got a funny feeling about those funny Rams. I'm not going to bet this one, but I'm going to say the over. I'll say 8 wins.
Okay.
I can feel good about it. That's just more of a women's intuition than anything else.
Yeah. All right. So over on them. Who else do we got?
Cardinals over under 5.5. I will take the under.
So yeah, man. I don't know when the hell Kyler Murray's going to be back.
They found a guy that's worse than Kingsbury to coach.
Yeah. And also you have Colt McCoy as your starting quarterback, it looks like, week 1. So I would have to go under on the Cardinals. They might end up being the worst team in the league. But the interesting topic is if they do end up only winning 2-3 games, right? If they're the worst team in the league, obviously they're going to have the number 1 overall pick. And we've seen this before, where they had Josh Rosen. Not that he was the number 1 overall pick, but they just got rid of him after a year and drafted Kyler number 1. What if they suck, and they only win 2 games and they get the number 1 overall pick? How do you not take Caleb Williams or Drake May? So are they moving on from Kyler, who they just paid? It's going to be a mess. No D-Hop. Your boy J.J. Watt's retired. He's coming home. Tell the world he's coming home. Under.
Let us transition to the NFC South.
Yeah. Where are you at right now?
I'm at my office on Lake Michigan.
I like that.
Nice blue water behind me today.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can see a guy on a jet ski behind you.
How's my neighbor, Tom? Tom! Waves up, dude.
Ask him what he thinks about the Chargers this year.
He likes them. We were just talking about that the other day. He still calls them the San Diego Chargers, though. Fucking Tom.
Yeah, it happens, though. Happens to the best of us.
All right, NFC South. The New Orleans Saints, I said, when they signed Derek Carr, I said they have guaranteed themselves a home playoff game. I don't know who else wins that division unless Bryce Young has a really good year. The Saints are 9.5, though.
Yeah.
I think they could win the division. I don't know if they're like a 10-win football team, though.
Yeah, I did this with the Saints last year, and they let me down because, remember, I believed in Jameis.
I have to look at their schedule. I mean, they do play – when we were win-lossing our Green Bay Packers, I automatically just gave the Packers 4 wins because they play the NFC South. So that's part of what I think. So with the Saints schedule, I mean, they play the NFC South too. They've got the Titans. They've got the Patriots, the Texans, Jackson. So they've got the AFC South and the NFC North.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the Saints. Okay. They're going to – Jesus. They might have the easiest goddamn schedule in the world.
No. The Eagles have the easiest schedule. Strength of schedule.
The Saints play in the South. They have the NFC North, and they have the AFC South.
Well, we'll talk. Okay, well, we got to talk about Atlanta and Carolina here in a second. I don't think I would go over. I went over last year, and you got to remember, remember Jameis was 5-2, and he had 12 touchdowns and 3 picks. They beat the crap out of the Packers week 1. So then I believed in him last year, and my money was tied up all year. In week 14, week 15, week 16, I'm watching freaking Andy Dalton dropping back 40 times per game. So I don't want to do it with the Saints this year. They should win that division if Derek Carr doesn't look like dump like he did last year. But Kamara is going to be suspended the first 4 games of the season. Michael Thomas hasn't been healthy since the Backstreet Boys were number 1 on the pop charts. He's got a metal plate in his foot. I do love Chris Olave. The defense is going to be really good. I think that's what
I didn't own one KN95 mask in my house the last time Michael Thomas was good.
Exactly. Yeah. He hasn't been healthy in forever, and he's getting old. So Over. I'll still go over. Dan,
Yeah, over on the Saints.
I'm not betting
when
it.
the Saints go marching in.
I
Oh, how
want-
I want to be in that number when the Saints win me 10 games.
Yeah, okay. I'm in.
Who's their coach? Dennis Allen?
Yeah, Dennis Allen, yeah.
Dennis Allen's like the Joe Prunty of coaches.
That's what I mean, though. Like, I don't know, man. I could see them blowing and like Derek Carr throwing like 50 picks too.
What about your Falcons with your quarterback, Desmond Ridder? 8.5.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's any good. I didn't even really love him in college, to be honest with you. He looks like he's like 55 years old. But
Well,
I mean,
so I like them. Who is their running back? Ford?
who?
Cincinnati.
Oh, Jerome Ford. I was gonna say. I thought you meant Atlanta. I'm like, which one?
Cincinnati. Once like they did make the playoff, but they were barely winning those games, and it wasn't because of Desmond Ridder. It was their defense.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner and those guys, and I mean that's what Fickle's a defensive-minded coach. Yeah, I would. I guess I would go under here, but I mean I don't know how good Desmond Ridder has to be because you got to remember how good Marcus Mariota looked those first like 4-6 weeks of the season before he quit and got hurt and benched. But, dude, they got Tyler Algier. They got Patterson. Now they got Bijan Robinson, who I love. They got Kyle Pitts. They have Drake London. But that defense sucks. I'd have to go under. But I wouldn't be surprised, if Desmond Ridder's any good, if they'd be a sneaky, 10-11 win team. I just don't know that he's going to be any good. He's a big question mark for me. So, under for right now.
I'm going to go under the 8.5 on the Falcons.
Yeah.
As well. The Carolina Panthers are 7.5.
Over.
I don't know, man. I guess they're playing the same divisions that the Saints are. So,
yeah, I'm going to go over on Carolina because I'm a Bryce Young believer. I know he's small.
yeah, they could win 8 games. I'll go over with you.
Remember how good they were after they like traded everybody last year? I mean, they got a pretty solid defense. They have a solid run game, even after they traded away Christian McCaffrey. Somehow the run game got better. And I like Bryce Young. I think they'll be all right. I think they could win 8-9 games. I think they might surprise some people. So I'm going to go over on Carolina, under on Atlanta.
The Buccaneers at 6.5 is such a good number. Like, that's the perfect. That's why this is so hard. That's exactly what the number should be.
Is it that hard though, dude? Like, is Kyle Trask going to be starting by week 5? And like all the guys.
I think Baker puts up some games where it's like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they like never win though. Like, he puts up numbers, but he also throws 3 picks or he fumbles twice. Like, he'll be a good fantasy quarterback, but I'm going to go under the 6.5.
Me too. I think that they want to be bad. I think they want Caleb Williams or Drake May. I don't think that the Buccaneers are like, okay, we got our quarterback of the future, fucking Baker Mayfield on his 3rd team, right? I don't think they definitely don't believe in Kyle Trask, because if you believe in Kyle Trask, you're not calling for Baker Mayfield. I think you want Caleb Williams or Drake May, and the goal is to lose games. What'll be interesting to see, man, is if they trade some of those vet players, like what's going to happen with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Guys on the defensive side of the ball are already saying during camp they want to be moved. So I'm going to go under. I think they're going to be a fucking disaster, to be honest with you.